So we're not completely done with this mystery. Alright, Nick. Well, take your word for it. Oh, hey everyone. Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Two. Or welcome back if this is your 15th Nancy Drew episode review. And also, this is not really a big milestone in my opinion, but just want to mention it. It is the 50th overall episode of What's on the Tube. I'm very happy that 50 episodes. I think it's the longest running series I produced. And that's not including, not including DVD unboxings, which I really don't number them, so I don't know how many DVD unboxings I've ever done. But in terms of, series that I put episode numbers in them, this is probably the longest one. Again, I have to do the research, and when I say I'll do the research, meaning that I probably won't even get to the research. But anywho, this week, Nancy Drew, episode 15, base thoughts on it. I really enjoyed it. Coming off last week's, Tiffany, we got the murderer case done. This episode decided to extend it a little bit. Considering the fact I think I mentioned this in the last episode review, was that the last thing they said in that episode was that how did how did Lucy's brother get the poison to inadvertently kill Tiffany? So they kind of left that in the mystery, and then also the fact is what happened to the brother? Where did he go off to? And we begin this kind of where we perceive here is that we're, like I said before, we're pushing more harder into the dead Lucy stuff, considering the fact that we still have Nancy's dad's life on the line. He's about to get convicted, or at least he's gonna be in his trial. So Nancy has to do something before. That goes wrong, and pretty much the only last remaining solution is to solve that Lucy's murder, or at least get enough evidence to at least prove, no, he's not the murderer, this person is. So that's kind of what the focus is right now, but obviously they're still, they're not quite done with the Tiffany murder yet, and they got the killer, they know who did it, but where did the poison come from? That's kind of the last missing link to kind of really fulfill this mystery. And, that's kind of where we pick up from there. But overall, they did a pretty good job in this episode. Balancing the cast again. This was a more focused story, and the two subplots, the two plot lines really menge well together. Because again, now that you drop one mystery, it's kind of okay, we're in a beeline towards the finale now. So, anyway, let's get down to it. Let's start with the Butcher recap. So we begin things off literally as soon as the last episode, and then off Nancy's wondering how did he get away? Karen, Nancy's dad's girlfriend, the detective on the case, as well as Nick, are discussing where's this guy? Where'd he go? Sort of thing. And then Nancy, wait, Nick, you left the camera here when the whole you were trying to make sure the bonds that you had from Tiffany were not going to be sold by anyone. So they checked the footage. So they saw that he somehow miraculously walked away. And, he went to this room, and they looked in that room. There is no other way to get out of that room. So either, we don't know. I mean, again, this show has teeming with supernatural elements, so anything could happen. But anyway, so we cut to the next day. They're everyone's rested up after the last night's festivities. Nancy is about to head out because first of all, I'll give credit to Mr. Drew that he actually prepared them a pretty good breakfast. It looked pretty delicious. I would definitely eat it. But Nancy declines to eat because, okay, listen, Dad, your hearing's tomorrow. If we don't get anything, you're pretty much screwed. You're going back to jail, and she's not gonna let that happen. So literally, she has one day to solve a cold case murder. yeah. The best thing I can accomplish in today is maybe going to the gym. That's probably the best thing I can. That's the best productive thing I can do, besides doing university stuff and this stuff. But you know what I mean. But anyway, I believe so. Nancy says listen, there's a murder on the loose. Everyone's on edge. Maybe it's best you take a step back, stay home. Don't try and do anything. Try and stay safe. Nancy's not down for that, so she immediately heads to the claw. Then George finds Nick there apparently because he was still living at the garage where the whole thing happened last episode. He can't necessarily sleep there because it's still a crime scene, so he crashed in the claw, and they're all talking about this annual, once again, another supernatural holiday in the town of Horseshoe Bay. Why am I not surprised? It's called the Agreethia. I wanna say that's correct. I'm not really sure. I could be wrong there. Apparently, if you wish for something, pretty much it's a day of offering, and you wish for something. It coincides with Harvest Day, of sorts. It's a big tourist season for the towns. Again, with all small towns, big traditional holidays like these. These are tendally like the big money makers. Like, this is where the tourists come in. This is where we get this is where the economy comes flowing. And it's convenient enough that they get an announcement from the mayor announcing that, hey, listen, fair's canceled. Like, you're done. Like, we got a murder on the loose. This carnival shit, it ain't gonna fly. So, well, no carnival, festival. Would it be pretty cool? I'm confusing. I watched Sabrina recently, so there was a carnival in that season. So it's like my head's like spinning around. Anyway, I think from there we get to... No, we don't get to anything yet. I think... so yeah, the whole Drew crew's talking about it. Auntie comes in. She kind of like is telling them, hey, listen, this is what I'm really focusing on today. We need to focus on finding something related to Dead Lucy to help her dad's case. And I believe from there... But Nick and Ace are deciding, you know what, let's go try and find... the link between the poison. How did Lucy's brother get the poison? Considering the fact he's not the person who committed the murder that used the poison previously, which we saw a few episodes ago, back when the 2020 episode started. There's no connection there. So how did he get the poison? So that's where they split off. Nancy goes off to where does she go solo? I think she runs into no she goes to the. No way. Does she go to the police station with Ace and Nick? I'm really confused here. I know George and Beth stay back. I know that. They stay back for a little bit before they jump forward. But how does she run into Owen? Because she was at the police station. Yeah, so yeah, I think the three of them initially do go to the police station. Nick and Ace kind of, stay off to the sidelines to find the link using the police database. And Nancy's just trying to get any sort of lead. She talks to Karen. No, I remember. She talks to Karen about like, hey, listen, I'm running a dead end here. Do you have any sort of like clue, any sort of hint that I can get me back up and running again? Doesn't really give anything on the record, but it's like, hey, you know what? You should explore Ryan's colleagues, his alumni speaking. Maybe someone could drop you a clue. Meanwhile, at the same time, Bess gets a call from Owen, trying to like figure out, hey, is Nancy alright? Is she doing okay? I haven't been able to talk to her since everything happened in the last episode, and she does. She kind of fills him in. Owen meets her at the station, and Nancy's like, listen, I gotta go find this guy. He's this big CEO up in Maine. I gotta go talk to him. And it's like, wait a minute, you a rich guy, you got connections, and he likes her. He wants to bang her. Okay. The liking part aside. I'm jumping ahead of myself here. So two of them go off. Meanwhile, Nick and Ace run into Ace's father, who is volunteering at the station to kind of like help out in the whole like trying to find the murderer thing. And so they go in the back room. They try to find the connection. They literally do the old-fashioned draw board, like where's the connection here? Where's the connection here? Ace's father briefly interrupts them. They ask some questions, considering the fact there's some inconsistencies with with some of the evidence storage reports. So apparently, the fridge that was containing the vial with the poison originally was broken. So there was a time period where that vial was not in the fridge. So they're wondering, like, was this the opportunity for the person who got the poison, or maybe even the murderer himself, Lucy's brother himself, to get the poison so he can kind of enact this scheme. So they're slowly figuring it out here, but we cut to Maine. Nancy and Owen meet up with the CEO. Dude, I forgot his name. I'm just going to call him CEO. So they interview him. They're under the ploy that Hudson, Ryan is going to buy out his company, kind of absorb his company into his own company. So he's kind of giving not exactly the sort of stuff you should be telling potential people, especially to an assistant. Yeah, the CEO is kind of stupid. So he tells him, like, hey, Ryan was a ladies' man. He was a player back in high school. But he was with Lucy. That kind of was his only committed relationship. And the one time Lucy did come over to see Ryan, so the only time he met her was the time period where they broke up and Ryan was a mess. And then at some point after that, Lucy asked for Ryan's email address, and then this is all coinciding with the fact that there was a night in August, the night of the Seek pageant, that Ryan did leave and then came back, was called by campus security. So this was a very stood out memory that, yeah, Ryan did leave the area on an August night. So things are not looking quite so good for Ryan. That was kind of enough to kind of at least get enough going to figure out what's going on. So they head back. So they head back to the Claw. They tell George and Bez what's up. So they're pretty much certain by this point, like, their needs... I forgot how. I think they need to look up some sort of supernatural connection. So pretty much they need to... No. So Nancy and Owen are about to leave to head back to Horseshoe Bay. But however, Nancy has a vision of seeing a shit ton of bones on the floor, like a lot of bones. And so they drive back to Horseshoe Bay. She tells George and Bess about her vision. It's like, listen, I think that Lucy's trying to tell me, find my bones and you'll find my killer. Or at least find my bones and you'll get another step closer to figuring out my killer. So how are they going to find the bones, considering the fact the bones were washed away into the ocean? So how the fuck are they going to find it? So they're like, hey, that thing is tonight, the harvesting, the agri-lela thing, whatever the hell he pronounced it. If we wish for her, hey, listen, can we get the bones? Maybe that could be enough to at least push the bar ahead to save Nancy's dad. Obviously, no one believes in this supernatural mumble jumble, even though George literally got possessed earlier this season. But like, okay, sure, wishing out of the question. So they're all about to head off to the Historic Society. We saw a few episodes ago, and Nancy gets a text from Nick. Hey, listen, come to the police station ASAP. We got some new information. So Nancy dips them for Nick and Ace. Nick and Ace fills her in about what they figured out about the whole fridge being moved, about that. So they're like, okay, we need to check that vial, because if we know the vial has been moved, we know the vial hasn't been used. We definitely know that the vial was definitely, someone took it. We'll know that for sure. So they do some sneaky stuff. They get inside the evidence locker. They find the vial. But the problem is that the vial they found with the correct number is too new for this. It's too new to be something from 15 years ago. So, but by the time they were about to say something more, Karen shows up with the rest of the police force. Like, listen, you're not supposed to be here. Nancy points out, hey, listen, this is a chemical substance that should be going downwards. This is going up. So this is definitely not chemical. It's just water. Karen's about to arrest Nancy, and Nancy's about to do the cliche, hey, listen, you can't let her take it away. You have to avenge me. And then Ace is like, baller move. This is why Ace is the best character in the show. This is why. Give me a second. I'm going to drink some tea. My throat's getting a little dry. Okay, so Karen's been... It's over for Karen. They know. And to make matters worse for Karen, since Karen was the lead detective in the when discovering Tiffany's murderer, she confiscated every single piece of technology from the garage. So she assumed, like, okay, I got every single credible source that can link me to this. Until she forgot the cloud was a thing. Why do people always forget the cloud? I never even used the cloud before, so if I get screwed on any one of my hard drives, I'm fucked. I lose everything. Everything's canceled. The show's over. But no, so that's enough to, like, and apparently Ace's dad manages to assist Lucy in matching, because the video doesn't capture audio, so he manages to accurately read the lips that confirms Karen did give Lucy's brother the poison, and she gets arrested. And I'm like, case closed, done, end of the episode. Let's back it up from there. Anyway, so I'm sorry for that horrible view. I'm still working on the neck thing, and my hairstyle is still adjusted. I got a fresh haircut, so let me know in the comments if you have any comments about my hairstyle. So Karen's been duped. Nancy calls her dad, tells her what's going on. He's in complete denial. Like, no, Karen wouldn't do this. He's an amazing person. No. Why am I acting like Freddie Prinze Jr.? Anyway, So he's in denial, but but Nancy said, hey, if we can prove that Karen was not a viable person on any of her arrests between the time of the murder to now, could that be enough to kind of throw out any arrest? Mr. Drew said, smart plan, but no, it's not gonna fly in court. Because of the evidence that Nancy sadly already put against him, that was not captured by Karen. It was captured by her. That makes it legitimate for some unknown reason. I'm taking a law class. I don't know this shit. But anyway, so Nancy has to double down in the hopes that the others can figure out something how to summon Agridelia properly. So because of the Historic Society. They're making comments about the Marvins, of course, because that's all Bassett talks about today. The Marvins so great. They're so fancy. They're so famous. I lost my sense of mind there. But George finds something. She finds a more older version of summoning the spirit and how to properly do the ritual to offer something, which, of course, like anything that you want to appease to the supernatural, it comes at a price. But they don't know what the price is, so it's like, you know what? We need to at least make sure. But this is our last chance. This is the night. It has to be the low tide. We literally have one chance. If we don't do this, everything's on the table. So the Drew crew plus Owen opted to okay, you know what? Let's do this because the ritual conveniently needs 6 people. Conveniently. Why am I not surprised? So the 6 head out to the riverside, ocean side, whatever you want to call it. They bring the reef. They have ropes on their hands. They cut blood out of their tips, and they're preparing to offer it up. Weird ritual. This seems very satanic, but why am I not surprised? And they plead to her. They wish for the bones. A few seconds later, this dark shadow approaches them, and it turns out to be all the bones. And so they're happy. They got the bones, and they start heading back. So George giving her, once again, her mom's supernatural advice on how to figure out what is this toll, what is this thing that they have to now pay up to get these bones for. So she holds up a mirror, kind of like a selfie, so to speak. She looks behind her and she finds Owen bleeding. So Owen is the toll. Owen is the sacrifice they need to make. But before they can continue that, Nancy's eyes start bleeding out. She starts, wiping them off, but the blood's still going. Then we cut to Owen, who's concerned, but he's still in the water, and he started there's gash marks all over his arms, like he's about to die. And they pull him out. They're trying to pull him out the water, and it's not working. So they decide, let's destroy the only connection we have to the spirit. Let's destroy the reef. They destroy the reef. Owen's suffering is over, and initially my concern is is the flip side of this is going to be the fact that the spirit's going to take away the bones? That's what I was assuming, but no, she didn't take away the bones. Bones are still there. Bones are fine. So they all calm down from this. Nancy's like, okay, I'm gonna get this over to my guy. We need to get this evaluated ASAP to at least get anything before Mr. Drew's trial tomorrow. But Nancy decides to drive Owen back to his place, considering the fact that his arm is kind of fucked up, and she'll run into everyone else later. I think, from there, so Nancy drops him off at his house, and to no surprise, let's be completely honest, when it's a 95% certainty on a television show when an attractive man and an attractive female that are both single go to the bedroom of said man's, of said attractive man, and she has a legitimate excuse to touch him. No surprise there they have sex. I mean, this was just something that was building up for the last 15 episodes. I mean, come on. They were going to have sex. They were going to bang. So they bang. Meanwhile, Nick is trying to contact a hotel. Everywhere's still booked. George decides, hey, you can crash on my couch, something. I initially thought, are they going to bang too? No, they're not going to bang. We can't have 2 bang scenes in one episode. So they head off. Cut the next day. Nancy's already back at the house. But she starts acting sick. She starts coughing up something. Turns out to be the reef. And yes, it does confirm Nancy Drew is haunted. And that's where we end up the episode. Am I missing anything? The funny bit before I wrap up the recap is that after they get the bones, he says, "Thank you." This is why. I don't know how. I'm going to reach out to this guy, the Aces actor. I'm going to praise him either out of this episode, the next episode, or some before the end of the season. He deserves it. He really deserves it. Anyway, so overall, yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. It was a solid episode, solid follow-up. It felt like the epilogue to Tiffany's murder. So I think from a sense, I know Nick said it's like, okay, we got the answers, but we didn't get a justice for Tiffany. I don't know what he meant by that. I say, fuck it. The Tiffany murder's done. We're going to move past this. I mean, sure, we'll get the trial. We'll get the evidence. Sure, we'll find a way to somehow keep carrying on. They'll find a way, but it's over. Tiffany's murder is done. We need to focus on Dead Lucy now. That's where the focus needs to be on the final 7 episodes. So hopefully they'll be able to keep that going. And yeah, I love how the subplots really mesh well, specifically in this episode. Glad to finally see Nancy and got it off. So is that confirmation Nancy's officially over, Nick? We don't know. This show takes its time with that. Bess is getting a little annoying with the whole, like, I'm a Marvin now. Like, oh, come on. Like, the Marvins aren't that great. I mean, there was a show on Nickelodeon called Marvin. It sucked. Anyway, 2 thumbs up for this episode. Solid job. And from what I read, after next week's episode, we're on another break, presumably. I'm not surprised. We're in March. We got 6 episodes after that, and they already scheduled their finale for May, so we're gonna get a break. I'll let you guys know after when we come back next week. And then I think that's it. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. This was What's on the Tube from ActionX. If you want to know what's coming up overall on What's on the Tube, we do rookie episode reviews every Monday after its new episode on Sunday nights on ABC. And then also we have Katie Clean chapter reviews every Saturday, coming after a new episode of Katie Clean that comes out every Thursday on the CW. But if you only care about the Nancy Drew stuff, we always have new Nancy Drew episode reviews every single Thursday after the new episode comes out on Wednesday, barring any breaks, which we might be getting soon, so stay out for that. Nothing one-off coming out. Again, happy this is the 50th episode. Overall of the show, not of this show, of our show. It's crazy. Because when I started this off, I initially doubted myself, like, can I be able to keep this up? And the fact that I've already completed a whole show, a whole season already of High School Musical stuff, and now I'm still doing the other shows ongoing. It's crazy the fact that I was able to keep this consistent, and I'm proud of myself. And I'm proud of how many. And for me, the view counts don't matter. I don't care about that. I care about getting my opinion out there. If other people are listening, that's great. If they want to talk to me, that's great. Everyone has their entitlement to their own opinion. I love having these conversations whenever someone brings up the fact, oh, I like this thing you agree with, or I don't like this thing you agree with. And seeing the past 50 episodes, getting to see those conversations flowing, have been great. So thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for supporting. Whether it is just the Drew Crew fanatics for the Nancy Drew review, if it is the rookie squad for the rookie, or the Golden Glory girls for Katie Clean. Thank you. And with that being said, again, this was What's on the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more What's on the Tube, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube. Ring the bell for notifications when we have a new episode live. And like, favorite, share this review if you please. Follow us on all the social media feeds, and I'll see you guys next week. I'm going to go. My time limit is up because this is about to go away because my Files TV has this weird thing where after an hour it just goes away. So I'm going to go put this on the computer, get this edited for tomorrow, and I'll see you guys, you Drew Crew fanatic, you Drew Crews, next week. See you. Peace out.